time for the Pucking Around podcast. Puck around and find out. Hey everybody, round one is done. And round two actually started yesterday, which is weird that round one finished yesterday and round two started yesterday. It's kind of weird. So we're in playoff mode. We're going to talk about playoff stuff. We're going to go over all the series and try to figure out why they were won and why they were lost. We're going to take a look at the second round and what's coming up. We'll look at our brackets at the same time and see. I'm leading. We're going to look at the brackets. And we're going to hopefully, have a good conversation there. And then when that's all done, if we've got time, because Cam has to go see his Bruins, we are, because I don't care about the Bruins now. It's over round one. I don't care now. They did their job off. Okay.
It's a nice way of saying he's rooting for Florida now.
Well,
I know Matt's rooting for Florida.
Yes, I mean, yeah, of course. So, and if we have time after all that, I got one overtime question. If we can get to it, we do. If not, so what? So we're going to start off talking about the first round. Do we want to list off the winners and like how they went? I got my bracket here. I can do it pretty easily.
Let's do it up.
So
Rick,
all right, Western Conference. We'll do the 4 Western Conference. We'll talk about them, then we'll do the Eastern. How's that?
Sounds good.
All right, so in the West, Dallas and Vegas, and it ended last night, and that solidified my bracket, so I was perfect in the first round. Dallas wins in 7. The next series was Winnipeg and Colorado, and I had Colorado. I had them in 7, but it took what?
They fucking
5 games.
Smoked them.
5.
Winnipeg forgot how to goaltend.
Winnipeg just forgot hockey.
Hellebuck, who would have thought? Hellebuck, Vezina Trophy finalist, and then couldn't stop a puck.
Huh?
No, it wasn't just him.
Hellebuck.
No, the Avalanche were just on another level.
Yeah, they were good.
I mean,
I had no doubt. I don't really like Winnipeg, and I had no doubt. Vancouver Predators, and it was Vancouver. I had them in 5. It took them 6.
6 games.
6 games. So Vancouver. Then it was Edmonton and LA. Took that in 5, and that's how it ended up with Edmonton winning that. So we got the winners are Dallas and the Avalanche playing the next series, and Vancouver,
Edmonton.
An all-Canadian matchup in round 2, which actually guarantees.
That means we actually have a Canadian team in the conference finals this
That's
year.
what I was about to say.
Yes,
it's
it
the
does,
first time in a long time that there's a Canadian team. It's guaranteed because one of those teams has to win.
I wouldn't say long time. Didn't Montreal make
Yeah,
the cup
Montreal made it.
No, but first time that there's a guaranteed team in the conference finals.
And it's guaranteed that we know there's going to be a Canadian
was
team.
a Canadian conference, a Canadian division.
Yeah.
Montreal and
there
Vegas was the
kind of
conference.
no doubt. There was almost no doubt that there was going to be one there, and it was the
Yeah.
Habs.
Right, so no, I'm sorry, you're right. Barring 2021, I think 2011 was the last
fair.
time. I think 2011 was the last
bit
time a
of time.
Canadian team, was in the
That's a good
Cup
bit of
final.
All right, let's lead off with the series that ended last night.
Oh, good
Dallas
series.
and Vegas.
Yeah,
I only saw last night's game. I didn't.
it was
That's
either the best
Yeah.
or second best series of the first round, depending on who you ask.
You know what? I agree with you. I argued with Matt over this last night, but I think they were tied. I'm going to still say Boston-Toronto was the best series just because it was an original 6, and I think that's what sets the difference. But wow, what a series.
It
the one
was
that has
so
most
satisfying because the cap manipulators got their come up.
Fucking cheaters.
It was
yeah,
great.
that was good.
And one thing that stands out, that dude Wyatt Johnston is
He is
made
phenomenal.
for playoff hockey.
Mhm.
He is an
20
elite
years
player.
old.
Oh,
And
so
this
good.
dude said, everyone, hop on. We're winning this shit.
For those who don't know how good Wyatt Johnson is, in the 7 games this year, 4 goals and 7 points in just the
20
first round.
Years old.
Point per game.
Yeah,
How old is he?
Per game.
20.
20. He just
I thought
turned
he was a
20.
little
good.
older.
Actually, he's
Honestly,
about
I thought he
to
was
turn
a little
21.
older.
Yeah. I'm also looking at the team that he's on to, and he's surrounded by a lot of, I don't want to say talent, but a lot of good veteran leadership. Look at Pavelski, Sagan, Jamie Benn.
A lot of, but isn't that going to bite them in the ass soon? I mean, they got a lot of, like you said, veteran. They're not a young team.
Well, I mean,
correct?
think
they
they're
do have some
getting
good
younger.
young players, but
I think they're getting younger.
yeah.
So I think they have
They've
stuff
got
up and
some
coming.
youth. They do have some. Robertson's young.
Yeah.
Heiskanen's
Yeah, he's only
young.
24.
Yeah,
Ottinger's young.
Heiskanen. Yeah, they got Harley is young, so I think I think they'll be.
He might
fine.
not be any good, but Niels Lundqvist is also young.
Uh,
Niels- the only reason that game was tied into the third period, by the way.
What game?
Last night's game. I said no. Last night's game. I said Niels
was it
Lundqvist. The only reason that game was tied.
You want to hear the most ironic thing of how last night's game ended? Vegas lost on a game-winning goal by a guy who that game just came off of LTIR.
Yeah, rope
Isn't
hints.
that
Yeah,
Oh,
rope
that's
hints.
hilarious.
A fourth
Was it
liner
Hints? Was it Rupe?
buries a
Oh, no, I think it was
backhander.
it was either, I think it was Fox actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
Fox
Fox.
got the game-winning
Yeah, Fox
goal
got the winning
in
goal.
the beginning of the third
Mm.
period. I'm going to be honest with you. I was back and forth between watching this game on my phone and watching the Tom Brady roast, so I wasn't fully 100%
God.
invested.
It's irrelevant.
But
We're not talking about
that goal was beautiful. It was just.
Did anybody see somebody mess with Mark Stone's post game conference, whatever, with the press? And he was there. He was complaining. His spleen was acting up. And then he said, we're a bunch of LTIR cheaters and we got our comeuppance and it's karma. Anybody see that? And they did a great job because they just messed with his mouth in the video. And it's so well done.
Oh, it's an edit video.
No, I'm good. I'm glad because in all honesty, I mean, what begs the question, right? Like, how did Vegas lose that series? Look at that roster, up and down that lineup. That's probably the biggest, most complete team in the West. And Alex, I know you said Dallas was, but in the West, like with Vegas with that roster, just look at it.
Oh no! Listen. I said that if Dallas was going to go to the Cup, this was probably going to be their biggest challenge. I actually now may have to redact that because Colorado looked. Good. So that's gonna. We'll get into that in a second because that's our next series. But the thing that worries me about Dallas is similar to the position that Boston's in. They're gonna get a well-rested team that was not in a physical series compared to them.
That's next.
We'll talk about that then. But my point
Dallas
is I
happened
worry
with
about
Vegas?
that because Colorado's well-rested and Dallas is not.
Yeah, but why did Vegas lose the series?
Vegas lost the series, simply put, because Dallas had that it factor. When they were down 2-0, Dallas pretty much ballsied up, and they let their youth run the show, and Jake Ottinger played great. He played great after game 2. He was absolutely even the game that they lost, it's not like he played bad. He allowed one goal. It was 2-0. And the one goal he did allow was in the third period off of who was it? Noah Hannafin, I think, scored it. But so
Hannafin scored a second career playoff goal.
I think Jake Ottinger was sensational from game 3 on.
Oh,
So
you
that was
have
a
to
big
think
reason.
that. In
One of the reasons I think that they won was like most wins in tight series, Dallas wanted it just that much more. Because Vegas was defending, so they won. Maybe they lost just a little bit in that desire to win it that Dallas had. And that's usually what it comes down to, and especially in a game 7.
From game 3 on, Vegas did not score more than 2 goals a game.
Which is bad.
Their offense kind of let them down too. That's right.
Yeah, I think that's bad. I'm in agreement with all that. I think Vegas just bellied up, and that was it. I don't know what caused them to give up, or maybe Dallas just decided to wake up. But that was it. I don't want to go into the reason why Dallas won or why any of the other teams won, because they won because they were clearly the better team. And I think that was the case for every series. I don't think, another team got goalied or anything like that. I think the teams that advanced because they earned it. I don't think it was because of any other reason.
I see what you're saying. Not like with Florida last year with Bobrovsky kind of goalied you guys.
Yeah, I think they busted their asses. Yeah,
right. Both, and it's true because that was a close series. I think it's like the Toronto series, kind of close like that, right? Mm-hmm. All the games. From what I saw some highlights of the goaltending battles in that Vegas Dallas, and the 2 goaltenders were fantastic.
I think in that series that it was comparable to the Boston Toronto. We can get to that later, but yes, those were 2 excellent examples in this playoffs that what good goaltending it was going to get you, and those 2 series definitely highlighted that.
Timely goaltending at the right time. Okay, let's move on to the next one. We're going to run out of time. Winnipeg, Colorado. Did anybody take Winnipeg?
No.
No, I
No.
Yeah,
no.
exactly.
What do I look like? A fucking loser?
Oh,
No.
oh, you got one up there. We got over there.
Alex, why would you do that?
Is that your
He's-
chaos
he-
pick?
Like, you
Honestly,
had way too much faith in Hellebuck.
I picked it because I didn't think Hellebuck was going to turn into a mush for starters.
Yeah.
And number 2, I thought Winnipeg kind of had Colorado's number go throughout the regular season. That 7-0 blowout. I looked at that and I thought Colorado's going to go into this first playoff game just kind of looking at like.
But
this
how
team
many
just
times
pants
does
us.
that happen? How many times have you seen that where one team dominates the other during the regular season? They happen to meet,
And that continues in the
And
playoffs.
No,
No,
and
and
you know, I
it
brought that up
often,
last week. That's why
actually,
Colorado
often.
ended up winning this series. They took that and used it as motivation. The dicking
That's
that,
right.
that Winnipeg gave Colorado in that final game lit a fire under Colorado's ass.
Oh yeah.
And Colorado's top guns ended up playing absolutely sensational. McKinnon was great.
Makar was great.
Was great. Now,
Makar, I thought,
Rodgers
had a
was
very
great.
good defensive series, I'll say.
All
And
the
maybe
all the
even-
studs
Yeah.
were great.
How was Jonathan Drew out there, buddy? How was he?
Not great, but
I
he
mean, he
wasn't
got
bad.
farther than the Canadians this year.
Was he good though in the playoffs?
I think he was.
He will
he
be in
did
round
exactly
2.
what he needed to.
But you're avoiding saying that yes, he was good in round 1. How come?
Because he didn't play.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was injured?
Yeah, he was out.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah, he's going.
Yeah,
to
no,
be
he
fine.
played all 82 regular season games and just. I believe he is expected back for round 2, but they said he'd miss all of round 1, unfortunately.
Nico Rantanen in 5 games had 9 points. That's
Yeah,
probably
no,
the
he's-
player
that
that's
team's biggest.
yeah.
No, I want to say this. Like you guys mentioned something about how frequent is it that teams that own each other in the regular season does that carry into the playoffs? It actually happens more frequently than it doesn't. It's on the opposite side where sometimes the other team will, elevate their play and the other team might sleep on them. But more often than not, the trend does continue. It actually is a trend in the NHL that the team that dominates in the regular season, the other team, it is a trend.
Can I rephrase it then? 2 quality teams like Colorado and Winnipeg. You usually see what you're saying with a team that's higher up and it's a bottom team that just made it in. And then that'll continue.
That's understandable. But when
Yeah.
they're like right next to each other.
Yeah,
and,
they're so
and-
close.
Those
Match.
3 teams were all pretty much this close together all season between Winnipeg, Colorado, and Dallas.
I just don't think
yeah.
Winnipeg was
Okay.
built for the playoffs. That's what did them.
No,
They
they're the
They
Leafs
were
of the
not
West.
built for the playoffs.
Anyway, I'm happy.
Leafs
I don't
of the
like-
Colorado
West.
had their top 3 players all had 9 points. All
Say-
3 of them had 9 points in 5 games.
Say that
Makar,
again.
Rantanen, and McKinnon. They
And
were
it-
all phenomenal.
And it dried up on the other side, didn't it? Winnipeg's
Yes,
top
it
guys
did.
kind of dried up.
When I want to say this real quick. 2 things real quick. When Tyler Toffoli is your best player, that's an issue. I love Toffoli. He should not be your best player on the
No.
ice
I
night in
agree.
night out.
No.
And also,
No, not on Winnipeg.
no,
Sorry.
not at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second issue, Connor Hellebuck in 5 games, 5.23 goals against average and an .870 save percentage.
But I want you to look at Colorado's offense and the way
That
that
sounds like
their
2012
offense is
Marc-Andre
built.
Fleury. Sorry, continue.
But the point that I was trying to make though, Alex, is outside of 2019 or 2018.
Oh, and we lost.
Coming
him.
Harry
back.
is frozen.
But he
Oh,
is
there
not a
goes.
good playoff goalie.
And he's in and out.
Harry,
Yeah.
say that again. You
Oh,
were getting
he-
laggy.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Connor Hellebuck is not a playoff.
They just don't want
He
him to
just-
talk
he
about
just
Connor
got beat.
Hellebuck.
Harry, you're having technical issues.
He's having to.
And
They
his
just don't
Wi-Fi,
want
it'll
him to
come back
talk about
normal.
Hellebuck. That's absolutely crazy.
The video say you're not
It's
talking
killing
shit about
Screwy
Connor
on him.
Hellebuck.
Connor
You-
Hellebuck's family owns the Wi-Fi company.
Connor,
Yeah, they
Just
won't
say
let it.
one word.
I'll write it
and
on
then
my
maybe it won't
notes.
catch you.
Connor Hellebuck. He didn't have a good series, that's for
No,
sure.
he
But
was
I think the
terrible.
defense in front of him was also just plainly not good. And if you look at Colorado is a team that has built on playoff success,
Yeah.
and they continue with that, especially after their win in 2002. It
Connor
says
Hellebuck
words.
outside of 2018 and 2019 is not a playoff goalie. Yes, I agree.
and of
I
course
could
it doesn't
barely
lag.
read that, but I read it.
Yeah, but they're
Thank you.
who's good on their defense? Nate Schmidt and Joshua Morrissey.
Neil
that
Pion's
it?
not horrible.
So I mean, I just think it's more. So I think what I genuinely think like caused Winnipeg to lose was they was a poor matchup against a Colorado team that has had significant success in the playoffs. Number one, That was definitely it. And number two, I definitely don't think that team was built for playoff success. They didn't.
D definitely is not. The D obviously is not built for playoff hockey.
And I think that was the problem, their defensive core. And I bet you that's why Hellebuck, didn't perform to the way I think he should have. I mean, just look at his regular season. He's a Vezina candidate.
No, but I think it's just a little bit of it. Excuse me. I think it's not just on the D. I think you can blame the D.
Forwards too.
Blame
they didn't do their job.
Yeah.
No.
I agree.
All right, let's move on because we can we move on, or did you want to say?
Yeah, I think we could. Yeah, no.
Okay, next series was Vancouver and the Predators. I saw one Vancouver Predators game. Vancouver won. That was the one Besser won with the 2 goals, like in the last minute or something.
Oh yeah, the hat trick, and then they won an OT.
Then
that was the back.
They won overtime.
Very defensive hockey series. But my God, they could not even enter each other's zones. From the one game I saw, I think the battles were all in the neutral zone. I'm like, at least can we get a shot or something? I think I can't remember. Maybe it was just a period I watched, but I had to turn it off because I was like, I'm so fucking bored. They're not like, I don't even think they were hitting each other. I think they were just trying to poke it, and then no one could corral it. I maybe it was the second period of like some game, but my God, I was just like, I can't watch this.
Go ahead, Harry.
Oh, thank you. Let's see if it lags out on me this time. I will say one thing that I think helped the Canucks more than took away from the Predators. The Canucks had great goaltending. Demko played great in the first game. Casey DeSmith came and he played great. Archer Silovs, I think, is turning into a quality NHL backup. And I think if they have to play him in the second round, I don't think you're complaining. I think that was something that just really helped the Canucks.
Now, it sounds like Demko's going to be ready, right?
They said that he's not playing game 1, but he might be ready in time during the series.
Okay.
I think it was a mix of, like I said, both. Silovs played great. I think probably just a lot of momentum there. And Saros just was not UC Saros in the playoffs. He was allowing a couple goals that I don't know how he allowed.
I do want to mention one thing, too. This series had something similar to that Carolina Isles game with how that backbreaking game, the Brock Besser game happened. That was the backbreaker because they hold on to that game instead of being down. I think it was they were down 2-1. I think it was game 4, right? That happened.
Game 5, wasn't it? And they were
game
2.
Maybe it was.
I don't remember.
I thought it was.
I don't remember. But your point
is though that was the ultimate series momentum game. I originally thought that maybe Nashville could use that as to light a fire under their ass under their last video. They didn't. They got another game. I think it was game 4 because they ended up going down 3-1 after that. But if they win that game, you're looking at a 2-2 series. Nashville's got the momentum. And Vancouver's questioning their goaltending because they just lost the starter. And you could have been looking at a completely different situation. That Brock Besser moment in game 4 was a difference maker in this series, in my opinion. Because if he doesn't do that, I seriously think Vancouver wins this. I mean, not Vancouver. Nashville wins this game in 7 because momentum is completely fluctuated from that alone.
I don't think Nashville was going to advance. I picked them in my bracket. I'm going to openly admit it because that was my chaos pick, but I didn't think that they were going to do it. The team is just not deep. Not as deep as Vancouver.
They're not what they used to be. I agree there.
And I think when you're leaning on Roman Josi the way you have been for the past couple of years, I think you're bound to get him exhausted. So I think that was the ultimate reason why I think Nashville lost. They're just similar to Winnipeg. I don't think they were deep enough. I don't think that they were just good enough. And I think what got them to where they were was Josi Saros in the regular season.
That D-core dealt with some injuries too in Nashville.
Yeah.
So that didn't help matters either.
Yeah. But I think Vancouver was a series where they were just clearly the better team. There is no question about it.
Yeah.
And as well, I want to say real quick as well, shout out the Canucks not needing Elias Pettersson. Dude had 3 assists in 6 games. He was a non-factor in the series. The Preds did a great job shutting him down.
Is it me? Does it feel like he's not really that quality of a fit in Vancouver this season? I feel like he hasn't been that good there.
I don't think it's as much Pettersson as much as it is management not knowing what to do.
That's what I mean. He doesn't feel like a system fit there. I have a feeling he's going to end up.
But it's not. I don't think it's him or the system. I just think they don't know what to do. They went out and acquired Elias Lindholm, and then there were rumblings at the trade deadline.
That's what I meant was Elias Lindholm, not Pettersson. Disregard my last statement. I meant Elias Lindholm.
Well, no, even Pettersson too. Even Pedersen's had some struggles along the season too. I think that's just a problem with Vancouver management. They have a lot of high-end talent, but they don't know what to do. I mean, but look at Elias Lindholm, right? The second they got him, 2 weeks later, they're like, "Hey, Boston,
Yeah, you want to trade him?
We're gonna dangle this nice little Lindholm right in front of you."
I wanted to,
you know.
So let me correct what I originally meant. Not Elias Pettersson, Elias Lindholm. Since he was acquired in that trade, he just hasn't felt like a fit for Vancouver. He's been very kind of on and off. You add him in a trade rumor. I don't think he really stood out this much in this series. He hasn't been producing as much as he was in Calgary.
They're using him for his two-way game. They're not.
Well, I understand that, but I still believe that he should be producing a little bit more. I know he's a two-way forward, but I figured with what he's going to be commanding this offseason, you're going to get a little more out of him offensively.
He made close to $5 million. He's going to get $7 million. He's not going to get more than that.
I think he's going to get 8 or 9, to be honest with you.
I don't think so.
But, well, that's a different argument for another day. Let's move on to the Kings and Oilers.
Yeah, Kings and Oilers. This is the opposite of what I said earlier, because if I'm correct, Oilers had Kings number all year, and it just continued. Right?
No, and I was genuinely surprised. I thought that series was going to go at least 6.
Oh, in that, yeah.
And like the later half of the season, the Kings just didn't show up.
Yeah, I got that one right in games. I had it in 5.
The Oilers put up 22 goals in 5 games. I was
disgusting. Kopitar disappeared. Their entire forward core disappeared. I think Drew Doughty was the only defenseman that gave a shit, and their goaltending was just not it.
Pierre-Luc Dubois continues to be a no-show.
Do you think
they're going to get rid of him?
No, apparently, though,
they ain't going to buy him out. They already said they won't.
Based off numbers,
they're not buying him out.
Do you think no one's taking that contract?
What do you think they're going to do? Because Dubois,
they're not buying him out. They already said they're not today.
But Dubois seemed to have brought that locker room down.
Well, apparently, it's not just him. It is not just him.
Really?
It's others.
Yeah,
Drew Doughty had
locker room. Something isn't right there.
Drew Doughty had specified that it is more than one individual.
Yeah, something's definitely not right. And let's put it this way: if you're going to get shut out by the Oilers with that goaltending mess, something's wrong.
And that defense?
Yeah, exactly.
Their defense has stepped up. I will say that. I
mean, Ekholm's still their only good defense.
Quentin Byfield is no. Listen, Quentin Byfield is no joke. Listen, Quentin Byfield is no joke. Kevin Fiala is no joke. Anze Kopitar is no joke. Like they have quality players on that team. I think Adrian Kempe is still with them, is he not?
I believe.
Yes, he is.
So
he led the
again,
team scoring this year.
Yeah, he's not a joke. Those players can give you a hard time. Drew Doughty's slap shot could probably still break, a rib or two.
And turn all of us into dust.
But even with saying that, maybe it's a bit of a tired team. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean by that? They're tired.
Yeah, I mean, they had to work their way back into the playoffs.
They need some kind of change in internal, I think, in the team. Maybe it's time for them to do a bit of a rebuild.
Maybe.
Well, that's what they've done.
I mean, they just got through one, though.
Yeah, but they just signed Hans Kopitar. Yeah, they just signed Hans Kopitar. What they need is to get out of the Drew Doughty and Hans Kopitar contracts in order to be able to actually make viable moves.
So maybe that's what I'm talking about. That's kind of what I mean. That's that tired team. There's something there that's old and needs to change.
It's more so the Drew Doughty contract that's killing them. $11 million. It's a lot of money.
I think the Kings need to add some quality defensemen this offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to make a move at Chychrun. Throwing that out there.
I don't know if they want. Yeah, but again, you with the fucking. Okay, I'm gonna get this off my chest right now. You in the delusion that you have that defensemen are primarily offensive. Like I think that
where did that come from? I'm just saying they need to add some blue line help.
I know, but you need You go for the immediate offensive defenseman.
From defensemen in today's NHL, sure.
You do, but not to the pedigree of which you described. Like you called.
Why did I say that?
In our chats, buddy? Like you've called Brandon Carlo crapping that he had a bad series
because he always craps his pants when it matters.
Analytics would disagree with you, so I'm just getting it off my chest.
In Toronto, since we're talking about Brandon Carlo, who almost cost his team the series, mind you.
We're gonna get there. Are we done with LA? Because we'll get over to the other side now.
Moments.
Yeah, I'm done with LA.
Yeah, we're done with LA. Okay, on the other side. So now we're in the Eastern Conference. We had Florida.
That was a
and
good segue,
Tampa.
Cam.
We had Florida and Tampa.
Sure.
I had that game, that series going in 7. I was wrong. It went in 5?
5,
Oh,
I think.
5 or 6.
Wait,
Five.
what series did you just bring up? I'm sorry.
Panthers,
Florida.
Florida.
is 5.
Oh yeah, Panthers,
5.
Florida. Yeah, that
They
went 5.
murked them.
Yeah,
They
that-
murked them.
Yeah.
I had it
saw
in 4.
Tampa's
So.
age. You saw
I
Tampa's
honestly-
age that series.
I thought with them probably getting Mikhail Sergachev back, I thought the defenses were going to cancel each other out, at least moderately so. And, Vasilevsky being a great goaltender, oof.
I'm gonna tell you the major difference in this series between Florida and Tampa. Tampa doesn't have the depth they used to have. That's the massive difference right here.
No, they don't.
Tampa's depth is
Yeah, I
gone.
agree. Yeah.
Absolutely gone. Florida is so much deeper, and they could roll out those 4 lines, and that was the major difference in this series.
But
It's
similar
Florida
to
got more
Boston,
committed depth,
It's 2 teams passing each other like on
Yep.
the ladder.
yeah.
pretty much.
But you know what? Similar to Boston, their defense is still really good. They have good, strong defensive depth, and they still have Vasilevsky. So yes, their forward depth isn't
Yeah,
as.
but Vasilevsky's
strong.
not as reliable as he used to be.
What do you mean? He's only 2 years removed from a cup championship or 3?
I'm just saying, the last couple of years, I've had him actually in fantasy. He's not as reliable as he used to be.
Oh, maybe he really isn't the best goalie that we've seen, and it was all the Tampa Bay defense and John Cooper.
Oh, easily it was. It was all the Tampa defense.
But
Well,
still,
I think
a good
it's- I think
goaltender
it's
nonetheless.
well
I don't think
unfair
he's
to say
garbage.
Vasilevsky
No,
was
I'm not
the
saying he's
starter.
garbage, but he's not he's surprised me. I've had him the last 2 seasons, and he's surprised me.
Well, this year he was coming off the back surgery,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
it took him a little bit to get up to
How
speed.
many-
I think he gets an excuse this year.
Yeah, okay, but still, well, then this is this year. So in the series, maybe he wasn't. He's not Vasilevsky.
I think Florida's just good. That's the main reason.
No, Florida's without a
is
doubt good. That
the
forecheck
most
is insane.
complete
Yeah,
team
no,
in the East
Without
right
a
now.
doubt. Yeah, I got Florida. Listen, I got Florida to win it all. So, yeah. All right, next series in my list is Boston, Toronto. I had
What
it
a
in
series!
I
I was
had it
gonna
in 7.
go
It
nuts.
looked like it was going to go 5, and it did, and it went 7. And
What else is new? Every
came down
Boston
to-
Toronto series goes 7.
came down to the freaking wire, man. I mean, you can't. That was way closer than I thought. All except for game 1, all the other games came down to the wire.
I will say this: the Leafs are getting close. They had. So here's the thing: last year they advanced to the second round in 6 games. They have yet to advance in an actual dogfight game 7. They were close on Saturday. They were really close.
Yeah.
But they pooped themselves. They really did. That's what it came down to. They pooped themselves. Boston almost pooped themselves too. Both of those teams had a lot on the line. To me, and I think the tiebreaker between why that was a better series than Dallas is the fact that it's 2 original 6 teams. That's the tiebreaker for me. That has so much more history than what Vegas and Dallas has.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I love-
100%. I agree with that.
You
Sorry,
guys
Matt.
bring up that you don't think anyone got goalied, and I don't think anyone actually did, but I think this series was the closest to anyone getting quote unquote goalie because
Oh,
Jeremy's
for sure.
was absolutely sensational.
Lights out.
Well, when you say did they get goalie, I think both sides they did because look at the scores. Look at the
I
offense.
think
The offense was shut
Toronto,
down. It was really
if you
tight.
look at the big picture of this series, I think the main difference was I think Toronto slightly outplayed Boston in 5-on-5, but when you look at the special teams, Boston destroyed
abysmal.
Toronto. Wasn't even close. That
in
was
the
the
first
main
3
abysmal.
games. In the first 3 or 4 games, yes. After that,
And
Boston wasn't as
It
good on the
evened
power.
out.
in all honesty, special teams won it for Boston. There's no question.
And
I
Swayman.
think Toronto went to, yeah, but
You're
I think more so the special teams.
I think you're
Boston, Toronto went 1 for freaking I think 22.
Yeah,
One
sub
power
5%
one
power
in
play.
That's
7
less than
games.
5%, and you are telling me that if they didn't score one of those additional goals, that series is over with Toronto.
How
That
many
was
power
it.
plays did they get game 7?
3,
Yeah, you're right.
I think.
Yeah, I think it's 3. Yeah, I think you're right.
So imagine that.
That final
That's-
goal, this only goal that Boston scored in regulation in game 7. Ilya Samsonov has to save that. Oh my God!
I don't think the
Bruins
didn't score any power play goals.
Goal to allow.
That first one, yeah.
Bruins did not score any power play goals in Game 7. They were
No, I'm not talking about
it
power
was
play
the
goals.
first
I'm just
goal.
saying in general.
No, but just in general, the one that tied the
on
game up.
Lindholm,
Yeah, after-
He left his short side wide the fucking open like a hooker's legs on a Friday night.
Yeah,
actually, I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to disagree with you on that. I don't think Samsonov should have had that. He could have had that, is what I'm going to say. Because I think I listened to Billy Jaffe and Andrew Raycroft this morning, and I kind of agree with them. A lot of Toronto Maple Leafs were in front of that shot. It could have gotten blocked.
He still had a clear
I think that, yeah. You know what? You're right. Because I remember commenting in the stream that he was screened a bit, and it was his own players. There was guys in front of him. So on that, I'll give you, yeah.
It was more of a miracle.
50-50.
It was more of a miracle that Lindholm was able to get the shot through.
You know, I was very critical of Hampus Lindholm going into that game. I thought he was playing such a crap series. Until that game, he stepped the fuck up.
Again, I don't know where you can say the defense on either side was not having a good series.
I was saying Lindholm was, not the whole defense as a whole.
But they were doing I think every defenseman was doing their job. Like, look at the goals scored. Like, yeah, sure, there was 31, and the same thing with the Dallas series. I think it was 32 goals scored in the Dallas series, and then there was 30 goals scored in the Boston series. I think the defenses were doing their job. It was tight scoring, tight games. Every play mattered, and they weren't willing to risk it.
But when you're getting paid the money you're getting paid, you want to have guys that make those impact type of plays in those series. And that's what Hampus Lindholm did in Game 7. He made two big impact plays.
Huge, yeah.
That's the difference.
But the Ds were playing good. They tightened up as far as in the goal after Game 1. And the goalies, too. Listen, if they play Joseph Wall to start that series, it's a difference.
They're winning.
Oh, yeah.
They are completely winning.
Say that. And that's to the point to all the people that are saying, like, oh, if Boston blows a 3-1 series, like, look at what Wall was doing. I will stand to this day. You could have called it a choke fest, whatever you want. But if Wall started that series, you're talking a completely different story and saying that the Bruins would not have choked.
I have Wall's stats here. In the 3 games that he played, 2-1 record, 964 save percentage, and I was about to get to that, a 0.86 goals against average.
And everyone out there is going to say they choked away. No, Wool was the difference maker. No question. Had he actually started the series, Boston was not winning it.
No,
I will say that in full confidence.
And so the question is, how do they not see that? And they go with Samsonov.
Wool was injured in Game 7.
Yeah, he was injured.
I don't think he was healthy.
Game 7, I'm not talking
about. No, but to start the series even, I think he was hurt.
He was hurt in the games prior, too. He was injured 2 separate times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and plus I think he was injured to start the series too, right?
Samsonov
was a little hot too, I think.
Too bad, because for them, I'm saying for them, it's too bad because that would have made the biggest difference.
And I do want to praise the Leafs real quick as well, because Joseph Wall, I'm going to say this, is the goalie of the future for them. He is going to be a top 10 goalie in the next 2 years. He is going to be a Vezina candidate, I think. I love Joseph Wall's game from these playoffs. I can't.
He was good.
He was top 10 is.
Yeah, I'm not going there, but he was good.
I'll give you a top 15.
I mean,
right. Yeah.
Like he's a starting goalie. I think
he's a starting goaltender, but
I don't know. I'm kind of iffy on that take, but
yeah, top 10.
It's not a ludicrous take.
Kind of like Montembeault for Montreal, right? Top 15, good on a lot and like great, but he's not the best.
Did you just say Montembeault was a top 15 goalie?
Yeah, I can't.
No.
Yeah, he's not top 15.
He's top 10 in goals saved above expected. He's top 10 in stolen games. I think you're wrong.
Those are all stats. Okay, goals against, save percentage. Where does he lie?
Yeah, okay. He
wins. Where does he lie?
He will be there.
Okay.
I'm not saying I did. Wait. Okay. I didn't mean to say that this season he was a top 50. I didn't mean to say that.
You are projecting him to be.
I'm projecting him to be.
Okay.
I'll give you that as a possibility. Yes. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Let's move on to the next one.
We beat a dead horse.
Washington sucked. Rangers were great.
I don't even want to touch that series.
Yeah,
We'll be quick on this one.
Washington
Who really
did not
thought
believe.
Washington was going to win? I mean,
Washington
I
did
did
not
that
belong
in
in that playoff
chaos.
spot.
I didn't really think. Listen, I said even on social media, Rangers are better everywhere. I just picked Washington for two reasons. One, because I wanted to embrace chaos. And two, I thought Lindgren would be better than a fucking pile of
Oh, no, he fell apart.
He was horrific. Alexander Ovechkin literally is still probably skating in his left circle as we speak.
Yeah.
Probably hasn't gotten off the ice yet, waiting for a one-timer to shoot.
And slow.
TJ Oshie looks like he's on hole 18 of his career. John Carlson was okay, I guess, but they're just
not deep. No, the bottom line is that they're just not deep.
They're a rebuilding team who lucked their way into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. And they had no chance.
They Lindgren and Ovi.
Lady Luck literally shoved a horseshoe up Ovechkin's ass and propelled him into the playoffs.
I'm not going to sound butthurt right now because I'm going to say this about all. I'm not trying to sound butthurt because I'm going to say.
And then as he was skating in game one, the horseshoe fell out on the ice.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to sound butthurt because I'm going to say this about all three teams. Pittsburgh, Philly, and Detroit, I think all would have gave the Rangers a better series.
Maybe Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, I think, forces 6.
But
Philly probably goes 7 somehow, and then
I don't think Philly gives you 7. I think Philly gives you 5.
Philly played the Rangers.
For some reason, Philly's one of those teams where they make the playoffs one year and they shit. They make the playoffs next year, they're great.
Yeah, they might be a sneaky team, but I
think we would have lost in 6 personally. I think that they would have took 2 from the Rangers because they played them well all season, including absolutely destroying them.
Okay, I'll give you 6.
Losing streak. How I don't know.
Yeah,
Detroit. I'm saying 5. Detroit. I'm saying 5. Not even.
Yeah,
their goaltending situation is shit.
I kind of agree. Okay, let's move on to Carolina, New York Islanders.
Snooze.
Did anybody expect anything different from this series?
I'm not done. I'm not even done. Ended in 5. I got it right. I got the game and the amount of games. And anybody surprised? I don't think anybody's really surprised.
No, they fucking dominated them. That comeback from 3-0, and I think Alex will agree with me on that. That comeback from 3-0 was that was it. That was what defined it. That was it.
I just don't think they got dominated. The Isles played a better series than I thought they would. That was a series outside of Boston, Toronto. I probably paid attention to the most. The Isles skated well with Carolina. None of those games were blowouts.
Mr. Senator, we have a question on the floor. Yes, Mr. Harry Rice. Yes. The representative from Rice Trips would like to speak.
Harry wants to defend his second favorite team.
This is ridiculous. It's a new fucking bag every time.
No, it's the same bag.
What do you mean? Eat the fucking bag. There's a problem?
I'm not going to eat the bag.
Let Harry defend his second
eat the chips in the bag and then eat the bag.
Harry, the floor is yours.
No, but yeah. Thank you. By the way, I do want to rant about that game too for a second because there is a 0% chance the Isles should have won that game. They should have. You had what? 2 shots in the last 38 minutes. You did not deserve to win that game. Isles fans saying, "Oh, we should have won that game." If you have 2 shots in 38 minutes, it's something like 6 shot attempts.
Boston
they deserve to blow that lead.
I want to add something hilarious. Carolina in that game got 2 goals in 9 seconds, right?
Nuts.
Yes, they did that too.
Then we fast forward 3 games later when the game is tied at 3 and Carolina
get 2 goals in 9 seconds.
I'm going to one-up that and get 2 goals in 8 seconds to go.
Oh, yeah, 8 seconds, yeah.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Similar to Washington, I don't know why the Islanders were even there.
Right.
The Islanders,
they got lucky.
I won't say this because they had 60 bajillion overtime.
I'm going to go off and say this. The Metro is actually the second weakest division. After watching that, there's no question in my mind now.
I won't argue that right now.
No, I think the Pacific is still the weakest division, but I think Metro is the second most.
They could be like tied, but they're right there on the bottom.
Yeah, both the Metro and the Pacific are down, and it's only because the Pacific has San Jose and Anaheim.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think you're right.
That's fair,
but it's close.
Calgary too. No, is Calgary Central?
No, it's
they're,
Calgary and Seattle as well in the Pacific.
Yeah, those just Seattle. Now that Ron Hextall's gone, or whatever the fuck his name
Dave
is,
Hackstall.
same shit.
Come on,
Dave
you
Hackstall.
wooden boy.
Dave Hackstall. I'm never gonna get it right. I'm terrible. No one ever follow me on anything.
you
No,
don't
now
have
that
to
Dave
be
Hackstall is fired, watch. They're gonna get a coach and they're gonna boom. There's no reason why that team should not be.
Right. No, I
Root
probably
for
agree with
Seattle
that.
now.
All right.
Yeah.
So are we done with Carolina?
I just
Yeah,
want to say
let's
one
move
thing
on
on
to
Carolina
Streamyard.
and the Islanders. God, fucking.
Okay. So predictions for next round, and then we'll do the overtime, and we'll
I'll
be
just
done.
go fuck myself twice.
All right. Next round. Next round is Dallas and Colorado.
Lead us off, Rick.
I picked Dallas. I'm worried about it, but it's two really good teams. Honestly, flip a coin and you pick whatever, and you could be right. That's the best I can give you.
I'm gonna let Alex go. I think we should let Alex go last because he has
Take up the rest of our time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I have
We'll
actually
go
Dallas
last.
winning the series, but after seeing how Colorado henny dicked Winnipeg, I think it's going to be a very tough challenge for Dallas, and that offense is just booming.
Yeah, that's my worry. Unless
Sorry, what the hell was that?
Georgiev, that if he could shit the bed because he's tired and played a
Yep.
lot of hockey.
I think
that
Gorgiev
could be
is.
a thing.
I think if Colorado loses the series, it's because of Gorgiev.
Yeah.
Harry Rice of Rice Chips. The floor is yours. Reclaim your time.
And he's frozen again.
And he's gone.
No, he'll be back in a second.
Oh,
Oh, he's back. All right, we're back.
He's back.
I have Colorado winning this.
Oh, okay.
And
And he's gone again.
why is it whenever Harry
I'm
brings
not
up
good.
you do
It's a
Colorado?
I do believe
pattern
that the
with-
offense.
It's a pattern with his Wi-Fi, and you just have to wait it out, and it goes away as you saw.
I wonder if it's the
I do
Hellebuck
believe-
thing because every star
He's got the
ever since
Hellebuck
he started-
curse.
Yeah. Hellebuck's just like, oh, you want to talk about Colorado? You really want to talk about Colorado? You don't get
No.
to talk about Colorado.
That's what it is.
You don't
All
get
right,
to talk
all
about
right,
Colorado.
Colorado. Let me talk about Drew and Wi-Fi. God damn it. I do believe that the Colorado Avalanche have a better offense. I think.
Well,
This is, isn't
Dallas,
it?
I
It's
feel
like
like Dallas had a decent.
there's a ghost. I'm
You
telling
know,
you,
you're gonna do the rest of the show yourselves.
It's not-
he just saw. He just
Freezing
laughed.
Harry.
All right,
Just
so
face left.
we can,
Okay, we're ready for Alex.
yep.
All right.
Damn.
So I originally picked Dallas. I'm going to say this in two different ways. My heart picks Dallas in 7. My brain picks Colorado in 6. As weird as that might sound. I don't really feel as confident anymore about my Dallas pick because I'd be a hypocrite if I said I felt great about it because they, like the Bruins, played in a very physical series that won 7 games while Colorado had a chance to rest, didn't play in that physical of a series, and really flexed their muscles in the first round.
I want to bring your point up to rest. Sorry, Alex. I know I'll let you finish. I promise. But you bring up rest. Look at how the NHL is rapidly advancing to the second round and how little rest they're giving teams that even finish a game 7. I think it's fucking horrendous that the Bruins literally 2 days later are going into another series. Meanwhile, you have fucking Edmonton and Vancouver that could have started yesterday. Now they have additional time.
Can I say something?
Ridiculous.
I've seen this happen where it's
Dallas is in the same
benefited.
boat as
It's
Boston,
actually
though, to be fair.
benefited.
I
a
agree.
team to be long series, not getting the rest, but also it's kind of like it's a momentum thing. They don't get that sit down. They just keep driving, and I've seen it work.
I'm looking at it from a player's safety perspective.
Okay, I won't disagree with you on that.
Like,
I will
just from
say-
safety, you can get really hurt.
Yeah, no, I won't disagree with you on that. I'm just saying the overall result, I've seen that actually work.
I will
That team
say I think
Not at all.
one extra day off would have been good for these.
I agree.
teams.
No, listen,
I think it won. I wouldn't have gone any further than that, though. I get where Cam's coming from, though. I guess it's the way of saying you get the advantage because you finished up your series earlier, which I get. But at the same time, like I feel like after playing in a grueling 7-game series, you literally don't even have a chance to celebrate it. Boom, you're pretty much flipped right back onto a plane to get
That's
ready
work.
for your next series.
That's part of what it is that worked. They didn't get the chance to take the time to set. They never got out of that mindset, and it worked for.
But anyway, let me get back to my prediction. I'm going to go with my heart and say Dallas in 7. But if I had to pick from a smarter perspective, I'd say Colorado. But I'm going to pick Dallas in 7. But so if Colorado wins this, just say I went with here instead of here.
All right. Wouldn't it be funny? I just want to say, is if Harry is actually back, but he's frozen and we
That
don't
would be
know it.
hilarious because he's probably tired. There he is.
That's why he left to put on that shitty jersey. Is that a New Hampshire hat?
I have
No,
idea.
that's a Luigi hat.
Luigi.
Harry, you missed it. We're all
That
done.
looks like the state of New Hampshire.
We're Luigi. All right. Unless Harry
Vancouver.
wants to add something to where were we? Oh yeah, we got to move on. We got to move on to the next series. Vancouver, Edmonton. Vancouver, Edmonton. I
Want me
got
to lead
Vancouver.
I have Edmonton in I think 6.
You don't pick games.
No, I know. I'm talking like my actual prediction, like real life.
Yeah,
If I were to say it, I think it's Edmonton in 6.
Yeah, I like that. But Vancouver in 6 because I got Vancouver.
I actually had Edmonton in 5. I think Edmonton's going to roll this momentum, and I think they're just going to put on a scoring brigade.
Bold.
I think Edmonton's offense is a well-oiled machine right now. I have Edmonton in 5.
Yeah. I also want to say when I looked at my second round this morning, and I thought, I don't think I'm going to do as good in the second round as I did in the first. So just want to say that. All right. What do you think, Harry?
I've got Vancouver.
Oh,
And
he's doing it out.
Let us know, Luigi.
Doing it out.
I know.
Oh, I
I've
get
got-
why he put the Luigi hat on because
Did
Luigi
he actually
wins by
do it
doing
on
that.
purpose? That was actually good if he did it.
He
on
did it on purpose.
I
He
thought
got-
that
I did actually. Yeah.
That's
he got me.
hilarious.
Thank you.
Oh, there he goes.
No, but seriously, really?
Oh well, now he's
I
actually
seriously-
lagging, so that's even funnier.
Oh, am I actually? Oh shit!
No, you're fine.
All right. Legit though, I actually have Vancouver in 5. So it's funny. The right side's gotten 6. The left side's gotten 5. I just think Vancouver's defense is much better. I think their goaltending is gonna be able to show up big time. I love Archer Silovs. I think he's gonna ride the momentum, like Alex said about Edmonton's offense. I just see Vancouver. I think they're gonna find a way to stop McDavid and Draisaitl. I think that's gonna be Vancouver in 5.
See, that's why I think that's the difference maker for me, and why I say Edmonton. I think it's McDavid and Draisaitl, huge factor, and Zach Hyman too. Oh my God, having
true.
himself playoffs too.
He's playing well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a well-oiled machine right now. I think them and Colorado look like they're on a collision course if you're talking based off of better playing right now. Man, I want to go with my heart and stick with my pick in Dallas.
Like I said, I have Dallas in my bracket, but I'm leaning Colorado.
I'm the same right now. I want to, but I got to stick with my bracket and say
We're on
Dallas.
a different series. What the hell are you backtracking?
It's just because it's one of those things when you look at Vancouver and Edmonton, it could go either way. It's a coin flip.
Yeah, it's playoffs. It could go in general. It should be that.
Dallas proved me right that I went with my heart, not my brain. All right, let's move to these.
All right. No. Let's save that one for last. New York, Carolina.
Well, that's in the East.
Well,
I think you meant say Florida,
we did
Boston.
Vancouver. You guys, I don't know where the hell you were. You went backtracked.
I'm here, Rick. Hi.
Stop it now. My cat just wants to scratch my back. I don't know why. So New York, Carolina.
I have Carolina, even though New York's up one game. It's Carolina.
I got New York. Are they? Yeah. Are they up? Did they win last night?
They did win yesterday. First of all, real quick on New York, posers. They're the big. I do not think they're that deep of a team, and I do not think they're that good of a team as they're being led to believe. I just don't see it. Shesterkin's the
I want to
difference
bring
maker.
something up about New York and Peter Laviolette. In years past, Peter Laviolette has always been an offensive-orientated first coach with his style of play. He always throws defense to the wayside and believes a good defense is made by an elite offense. Spending time in the offensive zone, wearing your opponents down. However, this year, and that was a big reason why I thought that the Rangers would – at the beginning of the year, I said they'd miss the playoffs. I was dead wrong, obviously. But this year, he has been a lot more defensive-orientated than in years past. I've looked at those Rangers teams, and they play really tight defensively, and they don't let teams really get into the offensive zone that easily. And I feel like that's one thing that has changed tremendously about him. Peter Laviolette, in my opinion, is one of the best coaches in my lifetime, and he's a future Hall of Famer. he is a big reason why the Rangers have excelled the way they have. You got to give that guy his props.
Okay, so you got Rangers?
I have Carolina. I'm just saying give him his props.
Can't write that.
I have
couldn't
Carolina
write that one. Talk it up, the Rangers. So you got Rangers? No, I got Carolina.
I pretty much pulled a twist right there, but I have Carolina in 7 just because I think that Carolina is.
All right, we got to rush through this. Harry, what do you think?
Rangers in 5. Carolina is not as good as people say they are. I think the Rangers are going to run.
Oh my God, that defense is the best in the NHL on paper.
Harry hates Carolina.
Brent Burns, elite.
Brent
elite
Burns. Okay, buddy, go ahead. You go up against Brent Burns or Drew Doughty. I understand Drew Doughty plays on the Kings. Those motherfuckers.
Doughty actually plays defense.
Brent Burns is a fucking Oh my God, get out of my face.
Brent Burns is a glorified forward. Why do you think he transitioned there from a right winger?
I think he's right. I think he's right. And anyways, we agree.
I like Brent Burns personally, but I'll let you two beep this out.
Next series. No, we already did it. Next series. Very quickly, because this is not going to take long. Boston, Florida. Easy. Florida.
Boston.
Everybody wasn't with me?
I actually have Boston.
Florida. Yeah,
everyone give me a series.
I wonder why.
I think it's going to go 7 games.
If you took Florida, I would not have respect for you. So I'm glad you took Boston, but we're not taking Boston.
I'm taking Boston on the sheer fact. I mean, we've owned them in the regular season. We also own Toronto in the regular season. And, I think Boston has a chip on their shoulder from last year, and now they know how to actually play against it. Yes, Alex?
Didn't you just say that at regular season ownership, it's usually flip-flop in the playoffs? And
that was Rick.
I said that. I was Rick.
That was Rick that said that.
I said more often than not, it translates.
Said that too. I thought they both did.
And I thought he said earlier that Florida was the best team here and going to go all the way, and now he's taking Boston to beat them.
No, that was you.
That was me? Okay.
Here's my pick. I got Florida in 5. And it's not a slap in the face to Boston because I think the Bruins have excelled well. I think they're going to keep a lot of these games competitive. But here's the thing. The Bruins just played in I think we can all agree that Boston-Toronto was the most physical series in the first round.
By hits, it was.
Yes, it was the
by
most
a long
physical
shot.
series of the first round.
Not even the next.
Now transitioning 2 days later into a series with a team that has 4 really good lines, 3 guys who put up over 80 points, an elite power play and penalty kill, and great goaltending. This Florida team is a well-oiled machine. And again, this is not a knock against Boston because I give them more of a chance and they would have played like the Rangers or Carolina. But Florida, that team, man, is just really damn good. The thing is, I think Boston and Florida are going to split the first 2 games, and then Boston is just going to get worn down. It's going to show from their prior series.
What about the physical?
Florida's rest as they get back into their groove is going to show, and Florida's going to take the next 3.
What about the physical side of it? I got to think Florida, way more physical team. Boston.
No, actually, I think Boston owns the physical aspect.
Well, where was it? I mean, there were a lot of
another reason though why I think Florida wins because of Boston just being so worn down.
Alex, Rick, what were you saying?
I didn't think Boston was overly physical. Not as physical as I thought they might be. I know there were a lot of hits in a couple of those games, and I know that.
Overall hit totals?
Yeah, I just said. I know there were a lot of hits, but it didn't come across to me as the most physical series. Isn't that weird, though?
They weren't giving big hits like we.
That's opinion.
Big hits. There were
That's
lot
going to be opinion versus statistics.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine. That's my opinion. That's what I give here is my opinion. So yeah,
I listen to you. Listen, don't get offended. I'm going to post a picture of a bear here.
Oh, I know what picture he's referring to.
Oh, I did. I posted that shit on Twitter. I don't care. Cancel me. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, listen. If you see here, funny story, quick. You see the thumbnail? I had passed a little bit more behind Bertuzzi.
Oh, you did? You can't do that. You can't do that.
That's not going to work.
You're going to get all the snowflakes out there.
To quote the great
and the winner of the Cubs fight.
Oh, I like that.
To quote the great Ilya Brizgalov, you've got to be like bear in the forest. Arr.
Why you have to do that? The net is humongous big.
Why you have to be mad? It is only game. It is only game. Why you
I
have
actually
to
think
be mad?
But before we go to OT, I think Boston has the physicality aspect of it, mainly because of Brazeau, Beecher. Not Beecher. Brazeau, Maroon. You're gonna have Connor Brown in the lineup.
Patrick Brown.
Yeah. God. Wow. God.
Connor Brown's on the
today.
Oilers.
Yeah. God. Sorry. Patrick Brown. You have Trent Frederick, who's known to hit, and I just think there's a lot of heavy hitting guys on there.
I want to add something to that. I love Trent Frederick. He's
a little
bottom
scrappy
six.
bastard.
He is the perfect bottom sixer.
Yeah,
I love
he
Trent
was
Frederick.
good.
No, I wouldn't even call him a bottom six. He's just third line.
Yeah, perfect third line.
That's it.
If you want to call it that too.
His best is third line. His worst is third line.
I don't understand why he was getting the hate he was the last year or two. He's
only 25.
Third liner.
Young.
He's 25.
Player.
I kind of only heard of him like this season.
Yeah, he's only 25, and he's had 2 career years.
Remember, Trouba swung his stick at his head. That's when I really heard about
you
it.
mother! Don't bring him up. I don't want to talk about it. Keandre Miller also spat in Drew Doughty's face, but let's not talk about
and
that.
almost
All
died.
right, are we okay? So are we?
I thought that
moving
was going to be a hate crime.
Are we moving into overtime?
Yeah,
It's
I thought we were
overtime.
gonna finish regulation.
Overtime. All right, I got only one question.
yes.
This is very simple, but it's not that simple. What would you do to fix the Toronto Maple Leafs?
You're such
Let's
an
let Harry
ass.
start.
Okay,
It's
is
a
it
great
serious?
question.
Is it serious answers only, or is it just like any, or just
Whatever you want.
can I dig
Whatever you want,
around?
opinion
Go
based.
it.
Harry, go first. He's got his hand
Okay.
I'll
raised
go.
up.
I'll go last.
All right, thank you. So number one, trade Mitch Marner. And I know we're going to talk about the no move clause. If Marner's a guy where he knows management wants him gone, he's going to waive the no move clause. I think Marner's gone. Buy out John Tavares. It's clear that he's not fit to be the captain anymore. Fire Sheldon Keefe. Fire your assistant staff. Completely revamp that coaching. Fire Brendan Shanahan. I believe he's the president of hockey ops or whatever he is. Focus on depth signings and focus on making more smart yet safe plays, safe via the cap, but smart in terms of guys like Daniel Sprong who don't get paid much but put up good amount of points, have good play elsewhere. Guys that have good play elsewhere, not Sprong, he's not good defensively, but just that's what I do. It's as simple as that, in my opinion.
Let's go with Rick because this is going to be quick.
I would.
You don't.
He would just burn it all
Rick's
down.
just going to say relocate.
No, seriously. Coaching staff all gone. Replace that. Replace the GM. Replace the president. Start from scratch there, and then change the culture. Change the culture. That's a losing culture, and change that. Whatever you got to do, you got to get. You know what? Marner is the biggest performer in the playoffs of all those guys. He's got the most. Marner and Matthews are the two that performed the best in the playoffs.
I'd argue Nylander.
Tavares disappeared.
Nylander and Riley next, and then there's a drop off a bit to Tavares. So
a big drop off.
The thing is, though, 2 of those top 4 guys have to go.
I already know which 2 it is.
And you got to bring in guys that change the losing culture, and that's what I would do. But you know what?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do anything because I hate the league, and I'd leave it exactly how they are.
Alex.
So you guys kind of stole my thunder. I'll go with the obvious. You're going to have to convince Mitch Marner to waive his no movement trade clause and trade him for some legit defense help. You definitely, I think I agree with Harry, buy out Jonathan Tavares. He is not the player he used to be anyway. Getting 2 points in a 7-game series, in a series where you're one of the quote-unquote core 4 being dependent on, that's just not going to cut it. Yeah, it's bad. That is very bad. I'm glad to know the Flyers helped in that a little bit. But anyway, let me continue. I wouldn't fire Trevelling, whatever the hell his name is.
Treliving. Yeah, he doesn't deserve to go.
Shanahan gone. Keefe launched into the sun. You got to acquire some legitimate defense help. You've got to build that team from the blue line out. That's where Marner trade's going to be from. Trade a second-round pick for Scott Laughton and get some leadership and help my team out a little bit. They need some leadership help in their middle six. And I think a guy like him could help. But they need some real leadership. They need guys who are going to play the game the right way and play with the logo on their chest.
Yeah.
And Marner, I think you're going to ship him out west somewhere and get some defense help. I'm not going to pinpoint any players. I'm like I said, buy out Tavares, and the team's just got to completely revamp the way that team is structured. I give Morgan Riley the C too.
Yes, I was thinking I'm gonna get that in there, but yeah, I do that and then start rebuilding.
All right.
Oh crap! They have no second round picks. I can't even ask for that.
This is a problem. Yeah, they've got to make trades to get back assets like that.
Look at this. They have no seconds.
Nothing.
2 firsts and 1/3 and 1/4 in the next 3 years.
Yeah, no, they don't have any. Yeah, no, they don't. All right, I'm gonna give you guys my list. It'll probably be. It's going to be very similar. You need to fire Keefe. That's for sure. There's no question. If ands or buts about it. It's unacceptable at this point.
How is he not yet fired though?
Because he's buddies with another person on there, but it's unacceptable. You fire Shanahan as well. You keep Trey Living. I think it's fine. I think you buy out Tavares and strip the C and get. Well, obviously you're gonna strip the C if you buy him out, and then you give it to Morgan Riley. I don't think you trade Mitch Marner because I don't think the problem is with Mitch Marner. I genuinely believe it's the culture in the locker room that's fostering that.
But you got to move the salary.
But
move money.
But that's where the buyout comes from Tavares. Because I feel like you would only eat.
You're not good. That's still not enough.
I think you would get $4.5 million in cap relief, which will be enough. You use that to sign Max Domi. He becomes your second line center. You sign Bertuzzi, and you sign the rest of your depth in for a little bit of cheap. And then you go for a defenseman. You definitely got to re-sign Timothy Liljegren, and I don't know why they're saying trade him. No, I think the coach is going to make the difference. You strip the captaincy from Tavares and buy him out. You remove the alternate captaincy from Mitch Marner because he has not earned it, and I think you would give it to Max Domi or someone else better. But I think
William Nylander.
William Nylander. I would give that to him, but I don't think Mitch Marner is necessarily the problem as people would like to believe. I think it's the culture of the locker room that is making him that way, and I think Keefe had fostered it for Marner, so I think now, get a better coach who's going to put Marner in his place, and you'll see a change. Guaranteed.
Problem is there's a losing culture there, and really the way you got to get rid of that losing culture is most of these guys have to go. And in the return, you get those draft picks and you start building. And you got to drop down in the standings to get the good picks. And you got to build that way.
Their core is too young.
Trades, and they got to accept the fact that they got to start over again.
Their core is too young. They could likely move Tavares for something better. Honestly, you got to get rid of that bum captain. It's him. He's the problem. He's the loser.
I agree. But there's more than
how
that.
You fix the defense, but
there's a lot more than that.
You can still trade away Tavares if you can get him to go, which he's the least likely to go. But I think that's where you start.
He's probably the most likely, second most likely to go.
You saw how
they all have no movement clauses.
You saw how
I know that. But we're just saying this, assuming one of them waives it. Marner and Nylander aren't. I mean, not Marner. Matthews and Nylander are staying.
They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. But I think
Marner and Tavares that are likely out.
I think you can fix I think you can fix Marner by getting rid of Tavares. And if you get rid of Tavares, you have enough money to get a defenseman that actually knows how to play hockey.
Yeah, but they need a lot more than that. So where do they get?
No, honestly, I genuinely don't think they do. I don't think they do. I think they need another
heart transplants for these guys.
I don't know what you mean, but they fought Boston very well.
Not the guys that. No, they didn't.
They did.
It really was because of Joseph.
But look at Nylander. Tavares did have points in that series. Matthews had points in that series, and Marner had points in the series. They did play well, but they also ran into the Bruins' defense and goaltending, which has been elite for the past 3 years.
They played well if it was a regular season game, yes, not for the playoffs. And that's the thing. They got to change that culture and build not to be a President's Choice winner. President's Choice. Not to be the President's Trophy winner, just to get in the playoffs solidly. And then if you're built for it, now you got a shot.
I can see it now. Toronto's going to run a campaign ad. Matthews Nylander 2024. Make scoring great again.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think that will Marner and Tavares likely go, or they'll bully them into going? Probably. But do I think Marner needs to? No, I think his game can be fixed with the right coach and the right coach and the right culture. That's it for me.
Coach is going to be a big thing. Coach,
I think so.
A big thing there. Yeah.
But if you can get a way to get out of Tavares for 1 year, that opens your money up, plain and simple.
Yeah. It's not enough. I think they need more. That's all I'm saying.
That would open $30 million for them. That's way more than enough to get what they need because you have a second line center in Max Domi.
Yeah, but Domi's a little small. We had him here.
He doesn't matter.
You know,
He's gritty
he's
as
not
fuck,
that good,
and so is
honestly.
Yeah, but
Bertuzzi.
he's gritty. Whatever he does it for a season or two, and then his game breaks down. You got to move him, and that's what happens. That's why he's journeyed so much. So I don't know that my team, I'm gonna put my money on him as a second line center for the future.
It's
Honestly,
definitely something that we could debate on and off too. I mean, the Maple Leafs at this point, it is difficult to say where do you go. It's hard.
It is. That's why you got to just say, break it down, start over again.
Yeah.
I know because it's hard. If you keep doing this and patching here and patching there, it could be years before you make that decision finally. And then it's another how many years till you rebuild.
And there's no question that team is talented. They really are. Yeah. And they have been for a long time.
You be the most talented team if you're not structured and put together right. You're not.
I agree. Winning. Yeah. No, I agree. What is it that we said earlier?
That's what you got there. You've got a poorly put together team.
Well, we talked about this too, Rick, maybe in private. We said, like, sometimes it's not just picking the best player that's available, but the best player that fits your scheme.
That's right.
Because that's more valuable than a talented player.
Which is what Montreal is doing right now. And
I agree.
So you look at those draft picks and go, well, what? But that's because they've got a vision and they're picking players that match what they want. And, sometimes that is the best player available. And I've said this before. Sometimes the best player available is the best player that fits you.
Yep.
And there might be somebody that's a little more talented but doesn't fit you as well.
Unless it's Bedard or Celebrini, then those picks are obvious. Like generational players are the exception.
Yeah, right. Generational players are like Celebrini. You don't question it. You get that pick, you're picking Celebrini.
Correct. But in a round like where it was Slav or Shane Wright, you guys made the right decision.
Yeah.
Shane Wright.
Ooh, bum, loser.
No,
I mean, I think he'll have an okay rookie season, but he's not going to be what we expected him to be.
He's not.
He's probably
but watch. Like I said, with the firing of Dave Haxtell, you might have a strong development of him. So
you will. Go fuck yourself. Cool. Enjoy the wakeboarding. I hate you.
I got nothing against Shane Wright at all. I hope he turns out to be a good NHL player.
I think he turns out to be a good. I think he's a good 70-point first liner, but he's not. He doesn't put in the amount of effort that Slav will.
Yeah. He wouldn't survive the first pick if you look back on it.
If you had to redraft to 2022, I think Simon
redraft
the number one overall pick.
No.
Yeah,
Slavkovsky still is number one pick in that.
I'm saying Slavkovsky's 2 or 3. I'm not saying he's a bum. I'm just saying
2 or 3.
Like a lockdown.
Simon Nemec is not number one in that.
2 or 3.
Not even close.
Years, I don't think you're going to be saying that in 3 years.
Yeah.
No, we can revisit
Nemec. I can get.
Yeah, put it on the calendar.
Is Simon Nemec a bum? I'm just saying. I think
he's not a bum.
But I don't think challenges Slav for first is Lane Hudson. He's the only guy who challenges.
Now we're talking bias.
No, I don't think.
Have you seen what Lane Hudson's done?
I know Lane Hudson's good, but you're making it seem like no other player is deserving in the draft. You're just saying
Simon Nemec is not deserving of going first overall.
Simon Nemec
he's a great defenseman already. Yes,
the best player in
but he is not Yuri Slavkovsky. He is not a top line forward.
Yeah, right. He's a number 1 defenseman. It's a little different.
He's a number 2. He's a number
1. He's better than Luke Hughes.
He's not.
Yes, he's
great.
And thank God Alex is gone. All right, Rick, take it. All right, he's back. Rick, take us back. Take us out.
Who's that glorified forward?
All right, we're gonna great sound effect, and that's it. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
You did it better than me. All right, so we'll be back next week with a little bit more playoff talk.
Piss off, Rick.
I'm trying to do that. I'm stuck here. I don't know where to end. You want to end it? I'm lost for words.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for our podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, as always. And if you guys have any suggestions, comments, concerns, questions, and anything that you want to make fun of on Alex for, or if you want to donate to Harry Rice of Rice Chips, by all means, please hit us up at puckingaroundpodcast@gmail.com. Wow, I said that pretty weird, right? Gmail.
Yeah.
puckingaroundpodcast@gmail.com. That is puckingaroundpodcast@gmail.com. We hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we will see you all next time. Alex, put the food away. It's making me hungry. Good night, everybody.
Coming up next, the Food Network.
featuring Alex. Good night, everybody.
Good night.